And we will work with the science of stability and finding a focal point, a point of concentration, a drishti. So we'll start today on our backs. You can come all the way down to the earth, and we'll begin in Shavasana. Make sure you have your strap handy, and all your other props can kind of rest off to the side, waiting for later. So you can bring your knees to a bend, feet a little wider than the knees. Maybe you would like to come to a standard Shavasana. Bring a hand to your heart, a hand to your belly, and start to connect to your breath. This is the ultimate in not having to be balanced. Although if you have anything like inner ear or vertigo, anything of that nature, it's challenging. You know, this might be really challenging to get up and down off of the floor for you. So this might be challenging your balance. We use our eyes, we use the inner ear and hearing, the sense of hearing to balance. And we use the feet, the hands, whatever we're balanced on in a yoga practice as well, to create that sensory recognition so we know where we are in space. And we'll work with all of that today. Let yourself relax here. Maybe shake out your legs, maybe wiggle a little bit, get a bit more grounded on the floor. So again, I had a little pinchiness in my right shoulder last night, so we're going to take it easy on the shoulders today. So very minimal flows. I'll give you some opportunities to do that, but I probably won't take them with you. Take a breath in and sigh it out. Slowly begin to bring your knees in, and keeping your left knee bent, begin to draw your right knee in. Loop the strap around the ball of your right foot or your tie or your bathrobe. And if you don't have one, you're simply extending your leg up to the sky. Soften, bend, and stretch. And we're just starting to wake up your legs, your feet. So maybe pointing and flexing the toes to wake up the front of the foot and your calf as you flex. Both straps in your right hand, left arm to the side, and let that right leg float to the right. And breathe into this. Keep a softness to that right knee. Maybe you would like to extend that left leg at this point, and maybe not. Maybe a hip or a knee is tender this morning and you keep that other leg bent. Begin to slowly use your core and draw that right leg to center. Pass the straps to your left hand. Now, if you don't have a tie, you can just swing your leg to the right and to the left. You don't have to loop the strap. So if you have the strap, again, looped around the sole of the right foot, maybe extend your gaze over to the right to a long arm or a goalpost arm. My left leg is still bent, but if you have the bandwidth and you'd like to straighten the left leg and the right leg, please do so. Take another breath in and out, enjoying the twist and waking up that right leg. Slowly begin to draw your leg back to center. Bend your left knee if it's not already. And take the right foot out of the strap. And just march your feet a few times here. Stretch your legs long, flex and point your feet a few times. And notice what you notice about the left and right side. Your right side might feel a little bit longer than the left because it had a nice stretch, and maybe not. Begin to bend your knees and loop the sole of the left foot with the tie or the strap. And staying here again, maybe point and flex. Oh, wake up the front of the foot, which is hard to do. And by flexing, you can wake up the calf and hamstrings. Place the straps in your left hand. Right knee can remain bent. Right hip is on the earth as we swing the leg to the left. Pause here and breathe. Notice any sensations in your left leg. Use your core and the thigh to bring your leg back to center. Passing into the right hand, we'll shift the hips slightly to roll over onto the right side, kicking that left foot over to the right. Again, you can find a goalpost arm with that left hand or extend your left arm. You can extend your right leg if you like. Enjoy the twist and notice any sensations in the low back here as you twist. Maybe you need to back out of the pose if there are some sensations that don't feel super yummy. With your next breath in, using your core and the strength of your leg, begin to slowly bring that left leg back to center. Bend both knees again. A little marching movement. And extend your legs, point and flex again. Notice if you have a little more balance now. Long stretch. Oh. I've had to do a little bit of work this morning to get that right shoulder above my head. Then bend your knees. We'll do a little core work because we're here and because we're being tender with our arms today. We'll get into the core. So bring your knees in towards your chest. Keep your big toes together and widen your knees out. We're doing some crow core today. So press up through the palms of the hands right above the shoulders. And then begin to bend your elbows. So your elbows stay over your shoulders, but your hands form a chaturanga arm. So from shoulder to elbow to hand, you have chaturanga arms. Take a breath in here, pull the low belly down, and as you exhale, bring your elbows to tap your shins. Look at your big toes. And bring it back to center. Exhale, you can look at the big toes or look up beyond your thumbs. And lower everything to center. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, in. And lower. We've got 4 more here. And lower. 3. And lower. Easiest crow pose we've ever done, right? Last one. And lower. We're taking that to side crow now. So bring your knees together, shift your knees slightly to the right, your elbows slightly to the left. The right elbow will tap the outer left thigh. Keeping the arms in chaturanga, take a breath here. Pull everything in to tap the outer left thigh. Inhale, lower. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, in. Lower and curl. Lower and curl, lower and curl. Last one, lower and curl, lower, center, core, crow. Take a breath in here, curl in, just 4. Inhale, lower. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. Exhale, curl. Last one, lower it down. Curl it in. Whew. My core's working. Swing both knees, thighs to the left. Swing your elbows to the right. Left elbow will tap the outer right thigh this time. Pull the low belly down and in. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. Curl, lower. Curl, and lower. Curl, lower. We've got 4 more here. Keep the neck and head in neutral. No stress, no strain. 2 more. Curl and lower. Curl and lower. Center core. Elbows above the shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Big toes are still touching. Take a breath here. Exhale, curl and lower. 3, 2, and 1. Lengthen everything long. Take a nice long yawning stretch. Maybe steeple those fingers. Squeeze your triceps towards your ears. And then let all of that go. Bend your knees. Roll to the right side. And begin to slowly press your way up to easy seat. All right, finding your easy seat. You can tuck a blanket underneath you if you have it, and if you don't, that's totally cool too. Tuck that under here. Sitting up nice and tall, stack your spine, roll your shoulders a few times. Mine is starting to feel a little better. Still can't hold hand weights just yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Roll your shoulders back. Take a breath in. Sit up nice and tall. I'm sure you've heard a teacher say when you're in a yoga class that your balance on the mat reflects your balance off the mat. And that usually rings true for me. Notice the balance or imbalances that you're feeling in your body in this moment, even here in easy seat. Invitation to notice. Let your mind wander off your mat for a moment. Notice any imbalances that you may be feeling in your life off the mat. Draw your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, honoring all of the balanced parts of our life, of our physical body, honoring all of the imbalances that teach us great lessons. Bow your head to your heart, bringing your thumbs to your third eye, honor all of that. Return your thumbs to heart center. Begin to blink your eyes open and interlace your hands behind your head so your thumbs are right at the base of your skull. We'll do some cat and cow from here. So drawing the belly strongly in, take a breath in, curl your elbows towards one another and round your back. Inhale, begin to lift your heart, your head, your elbows wide. Exhale, curl. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl. And inhale, open. Let's do that one more time. Slowly curl in. Elbows come towards one another. And open it back up. Hands stay as they are. Begin to tip over to the left. And rise back to center. Tip over to the right, stretch the left ribs. Come back to center. And again, tip to the left. And center, and tip to the right. This is sneaky movement. You might feel this later. Tip to the left, and if staying here serves you better, stay here. Otherwise, maybe reach that left hand to the earth. right arm up and over your ear. Slowly bring your hands back to your head if you remove them, and tip back to center. Take a round of cat and cow. Slowly curl and open it up. Tip over to the right. Keep your spine long, stretching through those left ribs, shoulders soft. Stay right here. Or place the right hand on the earth, stretching your left arm up and above your ear. Keep reaching that left shoulder down and away from your ear. Slowly gather your hands to the back of your head. Reach your spine long once again, cat and cow. Curl and open. Stretch your arms up, steeple your fingers, take a breath, little crescent moon bend to the left. Keep the shoulders and elbows soft. Come back to center, little crescent moon bend to the right. And come back to center. Slowly bring your hands behind you, either fingertips to the earth or interlace your hands and stretch your chest. Drop your shoulders down and away from the ears, either walking the knuckles of the hands back or walking your fingertips back. Releasing any tension through your neck and shoulders. And slowly begin to release. Take a moment to close your eyes and sit and notice. We've touched almost everything in our bodies already. And begin to slowly blink your eyes open and come around down to Sphinx pose on your mat. So curling yourself around. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide and rock a little bit from side to side, anchoring into the tops of your feet. Stretch your chest forward. Now, if this doesn't feel good for your shoulders, I've already done a lot of work on my right shoulder this morning to get it to this place. So if this doesn't feel good for you, just stack your hands for a pillow for your head or let your hands rest next to your sides. Stretch your chest forward, deep breath in, full breath out. Take another deep breath in, stretch your chest, and a full breath out. Tap into your core. Begin to take that left leg and come to a half frog pose. So coming out hip to knee to heel. Find a little weight in that left hip, stretch your chest forward, keep the Sphinx pose if you can. Again, if not, you're coming down to stack your arms. Continue to bring a little heaviness into this left hip. Keeping that heaviness, take a little peek over that left shoulder, stretch through the right ribs. Look back towards your left knee. Take another breath in, return to center, and slowly tuck that left leg back in to meet the right leg. Shimmy your hips, find center. Take a breath in here, stretch your chest, hug your belly in, and begin to kick that right knee out to a half frog. From hip to knee to heel, you should have about 90 degrees. Bring a little heaviness to that right hip. Again, stack your arms. If this doesn't feel good for your shoulders or your low back to be this upright. Again, stretch the chest forward. Find as much heaviness in that right hip as you can. Take a breath. Let it go. Keeping that heaviness, take a little peek over the right shoulder towards your right knee. slowly begin to release. Take another breath in here, stretch the chest, and slowly begin to walk that leg back and next to the left. Shimmy your hips again. Take a breath in here, hands underneath the chest. Take a puppy dog, a child, or a downward facing dog, your choice. I'm not taking down dogs today because my right shoulder is not quite there yet. So take the pose that serves you best. And you do you, you know you. I am not there with you, so please take good care of you. Walk your hands in so they're underneath your shoulders, rise to table, and we'll thread the needle. Now, again, I've done a little bit of thread the needle already this morning, but if you have tender shoulders and coming all the way to the floor is challenging for you, maybe use a blanket or use that cushion underneath you. Take that right arm and peel it up to the sky, and as you exhale, take it underneath you to thread, resting on that right shoulder and right temple. So again, if getting your temple to the floor is challenging, you're going to bring your shoulder and your temple to that cushion. If you don't need it, you can bring everything down to meet the earth. Now for me, whatever I pinched yesterday when I was weeding, this makes a lot of space through my shoulders, so it feels pretty good for me. Option to walk the left fingertips forward, the left toes back, or stay in a curled up shape here. Take another breath in and out. Press down into the left hand, bring your left knee back in if you lengthened it. And pressing down, rise up with that right arm. Exhale, right hand down. Extend your left arm up. We'll take that same pose to the other side, taking it underneath the right side. Come to the left temple and left cheek. And again, if you'd like to lengthen back through the right leg or forward through the right arm, you can do that. Or stay with this snuggly position here in the middle. Relax into your left shoulder, the left side of the neck. Bring a lot of breath into the neck and shoulders. Slide your right hand, your right knee back into center. Slowly press down into the right hand to peel that left elbow up. That felt good. And bring your hands back to center. Begin to hover your knees above the floor, and if you've got shoulder stuff going on, you can just step forward without using your hands. And we're stepping forward into Tadasana, mountain pose. Lift and spread your toes. We're going to do a little apple picking this morning. So stretch out through your arms. Take a breath in here and begin to bring that left hand to the back of the left thigh. And anchoring down into the left foot, tap those right toes out. And imagine that you're reaching up to pick something off of a tree, so an apple off of a tree. Keep your gaze to the earth. Left shoulder soft, right shoulder is energized. Right side body long. And come back to center. Do that again. Inhale, stretch up. And maybe place the back of your hand at your heart. Reach long with the left side or right side body and elbow. And slowly release and come back to center. Come to the other side. So rooting down into the right foot, tap those left toes out and bring the right hand to the back of the thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. And stretch really long through that whole left side. Take another deep breath in. Gaze is at the earth, full breath out. One more time, deep breath. And slowly release. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up and over to the right. Maybe place the hand at the heart. Keep reaching long with the left elbow. Right hand is grazing the back of the right thigh. Take one more breath in here, reaching up through your elbow. And slowly begin to release. Let your arms sway a little bit, wiggle them out. We're coming back to Tadasana at the top of the mat. Find your Tadasana, and we're stepping back with that left foot. Right knee is over the right heel. Inhale, reach your arms up as far as they'll go this morning. And exhale, forward fold to step that left foot back. Now, if you have blocks to support you this morning, by all means, grab your block. Back toes can be curled or uncurled. Bring your hands to your right thigh and settle into the bend of that knee. Keeping your right hand on your thigh, stretch your left arm up and next to your ear. Take a tiny side bend to the right. Draw your belly and your ribs in. Sink into the bend of your right knee. Keep that going now and begin to loop the back of the left forearm to the outside of the right knee. And you can just place your right hand at your waist or even let it dangle behind your right hip. Full breaths. Take another breath in and out. Slowly begin to unwind that twist. Now, if you can step forward without using your hands, you get bonus points for that this morning. So lift and step. Stepping back with that right foot, you can bring hands to the earth or not use your shoulders this morning. Left knee over the left heel. Wiggle back through your right knee, toes curled or uncurled. If your toes are uncurled, really engage the toes and press into your toenails. Left hand remains on the left thigh. Stretch your right arm up and over. This is my cranky one this morning, so I'm taking it easy. Little bend to the left. Pull your belly in, stretch long from the waist up through your armpit. Take another breath in here, breath out. Take another deep breath in and slowly begin to place the back of that right forearm at the outer left knee. Again, left hand can be at the hip or it can dangle behind your hip. Pause here and breathe. Spine is long. Keep your core engaged. Paying attention to the sensations in the front of the right hip, the outer left hip. Lots of stuff going on right here. Whew. And with your next breath in, begin to slowly unwind. You can bring your hands to that left thigh to step forward again into standing Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, stretch up, steeple your fingers, little bend to the right. Deep breath here. Full breath out. And coming back to center, a little bend to the left. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And bring it back to center, forward fold. Keep it nice and easy this morning. Bend and stretch your legs a few times. Step back with your left foot. Drop your left knee again, low lunge. Coming back to that same flow, hands to the thigh. Settle into the bend of the right knee. Right hand can remain on your thigh this time, or perhaps hover towards the floor, or place your fingertips on a block. Left arm reaches up and over, side bend. Again, if those left toes are uncurled, really press down into the tops of the toenails to bend. Take another breath in here. This time we'll give an option for prayer twist. So you can take that same twist we already did, or loop your left elbow over your right thigh to bring your hands to prayer. Pull your belly in, a little deeper twist. Option to curl those left toes and lift your left knee for twisted Alanasana high lunge. Squeeze your feet together. Deep breath here. Full breath out. We're sweeping around to a warrior two next. So it's really important that you feel balance through the soles of both feet. We'll do it slowly and methodically, but balance even here in a warrior pose, setting that up makes a difference. Keeping your hands at your heart, begin to slowly reach your heart out over that right thigh, bringing the left heel down. Begin to rise up and open your arms to a nice deep warrior two. Extend your arms. And again, if that doesn't feel good for you, you're going to bring your hands behind your head, which is where we're going in a moment. Squeeze your heels together. Flip your palms. Slowly place your hands at the back of your head. Relax your shoulders. Turn the front of your body to the long edge of your mat. Take a breath in here. Slowly tip your right elbow to your right thigh and bring it back to center. Tip your left elbow towards the left thigh as if you were coming to reverse warrior. Coming back to center, right elbow to right thigh. Coming back, left elbow to left thigh. And one more time, tip to the front and tip to the back. Bring it back to center. Slowly turn your chest to the inside of your right thigh. Maybe widen your arms out like airplane. Keep drawing the back of the head, the throat, the ears up and back. Maybe you can come a little lower. Maybe you can reach your right hand under your right thigh for some resistance. These are all bus stops. Maybe you need to put your hands on the ground. Be wherever you are this morning. Take one more breath here. Slowly begin to rise up. Turn your feet, stretch your arms up, and forward bend. Soften your knees. Shake your head no and yes when you get there. And again, even being here upside down with the head below the hips, it changes our ability to balance, right? When you're shaking your head no and yes, it's kind of shaking up everything in the inner ear visually. So you really need to stay grounded through the soles of your feet. Feel that, those sensory points grounding you. With your next breath in, lift up to a flat back. Fly those airplane arms out one more time. And with your in-breath, rise all the way up to stand, stretch up. Hands to heart, turn those right toes. Option to flow now. So bend into that knee, pop up the left heel. Your option to come down plank, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. You make the choices that serve you this morning. Find the back bend of your choosing. So we did a long sphinx. Maybe you're coming to a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Enjoy the back bend. Take your time there. And slowly come back down to the earth. Curl your toes, lift your seat, puppy pose or down dog. Again, I'm not doing down dogs today. I'm going to stay with a puppy pose, but you do you. Maybe child's pose is where you need to go. Ooh, that was a long hold on my right thigh. My right hip is feeling it. That feels good. Begin to rise back up to table pose. Step your left foot forward. Bring your hands to your waist. Step all the way forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Steeple your fingers, bend to the right. Coming back through that same flow on the other side. Come back to center, bend to the left. And come back to center. Hands through heart center, bow and forward fold. Take your time. This time we'll step back right foot, left knee is over the left heel. Back toes can be curled or uncurled. Hands come to the left thigh. Sweep that right arm up and over. You can keep your hand on your thigh or maybe bring those left fingertips to a block or towards the earth this time. Stretch long, reaching down with the left hand, up with the right. Keep this side movement going by either hooking your right elbow over your right thigh, which is really hard for me this morning, so I'm going to stay with this twist, or you can come to prayer twist. So take the twist that serves you best, right? And I am honoring that I'm not super balanced on my sides today. This side is a little tender, and I want you to do that too. Option to curl those right toes, lift your right knee. Whoop! That's more challenging than when I'm in prayer. Coming into a twisted lunge. See, even the teachers can't stay upright sometimes. Draw your heel and your toes towards one another. Turn your chest to the left. Deep breath here. Full breath out. We're moving around to that warrior two again. So begin to float your heart out over that left thigh. Bring your heel to the earth and rise up into that big warrior two. I'm going to adjust my feet. Flip your palms, interlace your hands at the back of your head, take a breath in, really long through your spine here. Begin to tip over to the left, stretching those right ribs. Come back to center and tip back as if you were in reverse warrior. Bring yourself forward, tip forward. Find center and tip back. Last time, center and forward, center and back. This time as we find center and tip forward, we'll bow to the inside of that knee, staying right here, floating our arms to airplane arms, or maybe winding to those airplane arms underneath your thigh. Find some resistance in the upper left arm and the upper left thigh. Again, you do you, you be where you need to be this morning. Take one more breath in and out here. Whew. It's working hard. Hug that left hip in. And we'll slowly rise up. Stretch your legs long. Turn all your toes in the same direction. Steeple your fingers. Take a little bend to the right. And a little bend to the left. Find a forward fold. This is not my best angle. My apologies. So find a forward fold and bow in. Shake your head out no and yes once more. Stretch the backs of your legs. And again, if you have vertigo or you have any inner ear stuff going on, be really tender with taking these big forward folds. Come up halfway, airplane arms. Rise all the way up, stretch up. Hands to heart, turn those left toes. Again, an opportunity to vinyasa here. So bend into that knee, pop the right heel. Knees and chest and chin or chaturanga. Come to the back bend of your choice. I'm going to take a seal pose this time. If you want to move through a couple of flows while we're holding, you're more than welcome to do that. Coming back to down dog or puppy dog or child's pose. Take a moment to push the reset button. Glide yourself back up to table. Step forward with your left or right foot, hands to your hips. Bring yourself forward to stand. Give your legs a little shake. Grab your tie or your scarf or your strap. And we'll do a little balancing this morning. Now yesterday we did some tree pose and I offered a chair where you could put your foot on the chair and then you could put your knee on the chair to help you with balance. I would just encourage you to try to balance in the center of the room today. If it's not working for you, hang on to the edge of a chair or your couch or a wall. Find some stability where you can. But if you are working with balance and it's a challenge for you, play with it a little bit this morning. Give yourself the confidence to be there for even a breath or two before you hang on to a surface. Although I don't want you falling, so don't do that either. Step on the tie or the loop or the scarf or the strap with your right foot. So hook it in the arch of your foot. Reach down with your right hand for both ties, and I'm just kind of taking the excess and taking it out to the right. Step forward with your left foot. Lift and spread those toes and keep that knee micro bent. We're coming into a little warrior three. It might be really little for you. It might be a longer warrior three. Bring your left hand to your waist. Find a focal point. Vision plays a very strong part in balance. So if you're focused on something that's moving, you will typically move. So make sure that you're focused on something that's not moving, keeping that left knee micro bent. Step into the sole of the left foot and press and resist that strap. So it's almost as if you're pressing into a wall. Keep your right hand at the front of your right thigh or hip and begin to tip forward, keeping your drishti in line with whatever that focal point is.
You can reach that left hand back if that helps you balance. You can stretch your left hand forward. Maybe you need to touch the earth or a block to stay here, and that's cool too. Keeping that drishti, that focal point, take one more breath in here. Slowly begin to rise up, but keep the tie on the arch of your foot. Bring the tie to the outside of your knee and let it rise. Find your focal point, your drishti once again. Now you might need to readjust where your hand is on the strap. Maybe you won't. Begin to extend that right leg forward. Keep your shoulders down your back, your focal point on something that's not moving. Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana. This is the same pose that we did on the floor earlier. We just happen to be standing on one foot now, right? Keeping your left hand at your waist or out for balance. Swing your right leg out as far as you can without losing your balance. So keep the center of gravity, head to left, hip to heel. Bring your leg back to center. Stay or pass the straps to your left hand. Keep your focal point and begin to peel that right arm open, coming to a twist. Notice any wiggly in that left foot. That's okay. That's just helping you for the next time you trip on something to regain your balance quickly, right? You're strengthening your ankle. Begin to bring the hands back to the strap, maybe one strap in each hand to lift that right leg and lower it down. Oh, nice to have 2 feet on the floor, right? All right, let's try that with the left side. Let's march those knees out for just a moment. Get all that tension out, right? A little wiggly. All right, stepping down now with the right foot, we'll loop that strap on the arch of the left foot. Placing your hands right at the front of that left thigh, and they'll probably slide up closer to the hip as you begin to move. But start there, so you have a little resistance between your foot and the strap. Step slightly forward with the right foot, just like you're stepping in and taking one walking step, right? Soften into that right knee. Draw your belly in, use your core, and begin to slowly lift that left leg. Right hand at the waist, or right hand might float back. Keep your drishti, your focal point, and resist the strap with the sole of your left foot. Keep breathing. This is a long balance sequence. If you stop breathing, you're in big trouble. One more breath in here in Virabhadrasana 3. Slowly begin to bend that left knee, bringing the straps to the outside of the knee. Standing upright, head over that right hip over the heel. Begin to slowly extend that left foot forward. Maybe readjust your hand on the strap. Right hand at the waist or right hand to the side for balance. Stand tall, hugging both hips into center, core in, keep your drishti. Shoulders down the back, begin to swing that left leg out as far as is possible, keeping your balance. Maybe that right arm goes out to balance out the left leg. Stay with your breath. Slowly bring it back to center. Place the straps into your right hand now. Keep your focal point. Begin to peel that left arm open for a twist. Keep your shoulders soft. Keep a sense of humor. Maybe lift the corners of your mouth. Notice those wigglies in that right foot and ankle. That's good. You're strengthening there. Helps your present self and future self, just as Yoga Journal said. Ooh. One more breath. Bring your hands back to the straps. Lift that left knee and lower it down. Nice job, everybody. Come into a little tiptoe squat now. So bring the big toes together and sink down into a little tiptoe squat. We'll do some balancing here. If tiptoe squat isn't an awesome pose for you, if it's really challenging for your knees or hips, I want you to sit on a block or even the corner of a couch or a chair and sit up nice and tall here. If you're coming to a tiptoe squat, you can stay here. We're stretching out the calves and the Achilles, the soles of the feet. See if you can find some balance even here. So all those principles, feel your toes spread wide, your breath is easy, find a focal point. Maybe you can bring one hand to your heart. Maybe you can bring both hands to your heart or to your knees or thighs. And again, just noticing the wiggles and the wobbles and being okay with that. Now, for those of you who might have a crow pose in your practice, you can bring your hands to the insides of your inner thighs, hands to the earth, and lift your hips. Now, for those of you who don't have crow like me today in your practice, you're just going to hang out right here, lightly tapping the knees at the backs of the triceps, getting them up as high as you can. So not putting any stress or strain on the shoulders. Still anchoring into the core, still pressing lightly into the hands, doming the upper back with no pressure on the shoulders. So it takes a lot of work in the legs and core to hold this. My legs are shaking right now. Take another breath in. Slowly release if you're in crow pose. Come back to that tiptoe squat pose. And again, you can come back to that block if this is not good for knees or hips for you. Reach your hands forward and come down to sit on the earth. Grab your cushion or your bolster, your pillow, whatever you have. We're going to do a little lazy side bend on the earth to stretch shoulders and side and hips. So depending on how your shoulders are feeling, on one side I'm feeling a little more open than the other, obviously. So you might place the bolster close to your waist, maybe towards the meaty part of your rib cage. So find the spot that works best for you on each side. And we're just draping those ribs out and over the bolster, turning that underside palm to the sky and finding steepled fingers here or just resting palms together. Breathe into the space underneath you, that little curve that the bolster gives you. Bring your top hand to the earth. Bring yourself up to your forearm. I'm going to make a little fist with this arm. Seems to strengthen my shoulder a little better. And draw that shoulder back. Begin to bend that top knee and wrap your hand behind your hamstrings and just flex and point out through that foot. Last little blast for your hamstrings here. And begin to bend that knee and stack your knees. We'll take it to the other side. So bringing that bolster underneath the opposite ribs. I think we've successfully hit all planes in your body today and almost every part of your body today. So bringing your ribs onto that bolster, either the waist or the upper meatier part of the ribs. Bottom hand flips up, top hand rests right on top of that arm. I've got a cranky right shoulder, so I'm bending that elbow. Be here and breathe. Feel the ribs respond to the bolster, so breathing into the bolster. Use the top hand. Place that hand on the earth to lift yourself up to a forearm. And begin to remove that top knee from the bottom. Wrap your hands behind your hamstrings and flex and point those toes. One last little wake up for hips and hamstrings here. And slowly bring your toes to touch, knees stack, and bring yourself back up. Coming all the way down onto your back, find a happy baby pose. Peace fingers to the big toes, or hands to the outer edges of your feet, or wrap around your hamstrings again. Maybe hands to your shins. So lots of ways to find happy baby, almost like that half frog. So we've got hip and knee and heel at about 90 degrees. And you can find a gentle rocking movement or stay where you are in center and just let it be soft and still and sweet. Hanging out here, 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And 1 more long breath. And bring your feet and your knees together. Give them a little hug. And we'll extend our bodies long for Shavasana. So if you'd like to use that cushion underneath your knees for Shavasana, if you have it, or you can bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, or Supta Baddha Konasana if you want one last little blast of hips, you can do that. Maybe you want to put that cushion over your hips for some grounding energy this morning. Return to a balanced breath. Begin to notice again any sensations in your physical body. How does it feel to now have all limbs on the earth? To be in this grounded place. Where does your breath go? Where does your mind go when you're standing on one foot or standing on your hands versus resting on the earth? Where does your mind and your breath go now? If you have additional time to remain in Shavasana this morning, please do that. And if you're moving on with your day, begin to slowly move your limbs. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Begin to curl your knees in. perhaps roll to one side as you prepare to move on with your day. Press down into the earth to move yourself towards the easy seat, whatever that means for you. Perhaps legs crossed or sitting up on the shins, on your knees. Perhaps your legs are extended long. Extend your spine long and draw your hands to heart center. Our practice on the mat is often a reflection of our lives off the mat. Think about the lessons we learn on the mat. To find a focal point. To be a good listener to what we need, what our bodies need. To be okay with the wiggles and the bumps, because they make us stronger for our future selves. May the lessons we learn on the mat transfer to you off the mat today. And may you find balance in any way possible. Thanks for sharing this practice with us today. In gratitude to each of you, let us bow to one another as we say, Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Wednesday.